For the longest time in my life, I struggled with self hatred. But one thing that I love about myself is that I know how to speak out about something that I disagree with. Because sometimes in life, when you are underhanded, sometimes people expect you to be like, oh, well, just, you know what? You may have not got what you wanted. You may have felt cheated, but just, smile and be happy because at least you got what you want, really. It's almost like paying for an expensive steak at a restaurant and then ultimately getting like a McDonald's cheeseburger and being like, okay, it may have been the best McDonald's cheeseburger you tasted, but still just be happy with what you got, really. No. If you are expecting something and you are paying for something and you wait in line and you're supposed to get it, you're supposed to get it. And if you don't get it, or if you get it or if it's not given to you because of underhanded ways, it's okay to speak out. And metaphor aside, I want to talk about what happened to me with AEW Grand Slam. So what happened was that a few weeks ago, I bought tickets to AEW Grand Slam. I paid $500 for it, and it was front row seats. So what happened was that Ticketmaster took away my tickets, and it was a little weird because this is like the only time they never charged my account or anything like that. So it was kind of weird. I bought the tickets. It says you got it, and I got that in my app and everything like that. Ticketmaster just didn't withdraw the money. So I talked with them on Monday about what happened, and I really didn't get a response, really. And then I sent them a message saying, I paid for these tickets. Why don't I have it? Why wasn't it deducted? And then they said that actually I didn't have enough money in my account, and that was a lie. And then the next thing that happened was they said that they tried contacting me by phone and by email many times, and that never happened. So unfortunately, with AEW Grand Slam in Mexico City, I kind of got the crappy seating, and also the event is sold out. So it's one of those things where, and AEW has done this before, where if you get good seating, they have no problem taking it away from you and giving it to other people. Or sometimes they may do something like, I remember for Double or Nothing 2024, I got ringside seats, but they moved me all the way to the stage area. And I think the reason why they do that is because, let's say if you have a bunch of celebrities or other really high-end people, they'll be like, okay, we want to give the seats to them, really. And the other part of it is maybe they're like, okay, well, we don't say this, but seating's subject to change. Because what happens if there's an event and it sells out, or you look at AEW All In, and it's a 50,000 seat arena, but they have 14,000 people that have bought tickets. So what happens if you're close by the ringside area and then they say, oh my God, there's so many people buying AEW tickets. So what we're going to do is take everybody from the ringside area who's paid like maybe $600, and we're going to move them way, way far back. So that way the ringside area has people who are paying like WrestleMania prices. They will do that. But I will also say that even though that's criticism of AEW, I would believe WWE does that. Or the biggest issue we talk about with WWE has always been the extreme price gouging. I believe there's video footage of a person saying, hey, to meet Randy Orton and all the other celebrities, all the other professional wrestling stars, they're charging like $30,000. Or to meet Hulk Hogan, he stops in for maybe a minute or two. That's like over $10,000. And I think that that's an example of, in my opinion, of very unfair practices. Every professional wrestling company has done underhanded practices. But with Ticketmaster, I've talked about, many times some of the issues I've had. I've had this issue this year where I bought Grand Slam tickets. They didn't give me the tickets, so I had to repurchase, crappy seating ones. And then also with the ones that are crappy seating, they don't say, hey, this is where you're supposed to sit or whatever. So I can easily go to the event and it could be overly crowded, and they're like, okay, you know what? It's a standing section. It's almost like in a crowded bar type of thing. And like I've said, really, that I don't want to be like, yeah, AEW, 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 and all that stuff, and I'm getting crappy seating, because it's almost like, why celebrate something? Why be happy for something when you're being cheated out of it? It's just, it's not good. It kind of reminds me of those videos you see when a kid has a birthday party and, their parent or one of the relatives decides to take their head and dunk it in the cake, really. And they want the kid to be laughing and be like, woo, this is the life of the party. No, the kid like destroys the cake, or they just like walk away and be like, you know what? No, you just killed the mood, really. And I'm not going to be in a good, I'm not going to drop my mood because then it says, oh, well, you can disrespect me. I'm not going to if I am disrespected, I will speak out about it. But that's happened with me many times with Ticketmaster, where with AEW, I've dealt with underhand tactics. So this one, they just took back my tickets, and lied about the fact that they tried charging my card many times. They lied about the fact that they reached out to me by email and by phone. That never happened. I know another time, and I've said this before, that sometimes when you buy tickets, they'll ask you for a password. They'll say, okay, we need to send you a verification code, or you were purchasing the tickets too quickly, so therefore we don't trust you. We think it's a spam account, so you have to redo it. So, with AEW, it does become very, very underhanded. And like I always say, that when it comes to buying tickets, when it comes to getting anything, when I go on these vacations, one thing that I do is that I really try to enjoy my time in the place that I'm going to. So what that means is that, in a few weeks I'm going to AEW Double or Nothing in Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm a little mad with the show because they only have 2 matches announced and the show's like 2 weeks away. So I have a bunch of events. I have a bunch of things that I'm doing in Phoenix, like a hot balloon air ride. Maybe I'll do some astrophotography. Maybe I'll go to some burger places. Maybe I'll go walk through the desert, and maybe I'll go through some museums or whatever. So when I go to Mexico City, even though I'm getting some crappy seats, I bought some tickets to CMLL. I bought some tickets to the Frida Kahlo Museum and a few other activities. So that way I'm like, okay, well, even if I don't get what I want, I'm still going to make the most out of my trip because obviously, I want to make sure that when I go, if the AEW event sucks, or if I get it, or if I lose tickets, or if I don't have something that's like once in a lifetime, going from the U.S. down to Mexico City, seeing Luchador, going to the historic Arena Mexico, which along with Wembley Stadium, Madison Square Garden, the Tokyo Dome, are these big famous professional wrestling arenas. The fact that they're having a couple of events in Philadelphia at the ECW arena, I gotta buy tickets to that really because that's one of the most famous arenas in the world. Being from Connecticut, living in New Haven, I went to the Hammerstein Ballroom. So for me, it means a lot that I'm going to Arena Mexico because as a professional wrestling fan, go to all these famous venues because, you got one life to live and, why not really? So what I would also kind of say too is that I believe in making the most of it. So I have so many other activities. I'm spending 4 or 5 days in Mexico City, and I'm also going to still go to the AEW show. But I'm proud of myself because one thing that I do as a YouTube content creator is if I have a bad experience about something, I had no problem talking about it. And like I said, I'm not Simon Miller, and I'm not Wrestling with Regret or other people that come on here and they may have a good experience, bad experience at an event, but because they make so much money that, that they're always going to get good seating, they may get some celebrity status or whatever. I think one thing I like about myself is that I can give you guys the nitty gritty, really. So if I feel screwed over or if I've been screwed over, I like to share that with everybody because it just says, don't fuck with me, but also don't fuck with everybody because, and it also hurts me a lot too because I'm an American and I have every right to go to any event that I want to. My money is as good as everybody else's money. So if I want to buy tickets and go down to Mexico City to see an AEW show, I'll do it. If I want to go to Australia, I'll do it. If I want to go to the UK, I'll do it. If they have another show in Mexico City, I'll do it. If they have a show in, I don't know, like Timbuktu, I'll do it. If they have a show in South Africa, I will do it. Because I also feel that's another reason why they took the tickets away from me, is because they're probably like, okay, you know what, localism. We'll give it to all the local people or the local celebrities because, you know, maybe they're paying more money, or it's like what I said, maybe they take the tickets away from people just to give it to people who are from the city to give them that experience. Or they may do something like say, hey, you know, we got a bunch of Mexican celebrities, or there's a bunch of like professional wrestlers on our roster that have friends who live in Mexico, family that lives in Mexico, so we want to give to them, really. So they also will do that. So I do feel it's very, very unfortunate that that happens, really, you know. So, you know, if I buy something, just like with eBay, if I buy something, if I'm the highest bidder, if I'm on top of it, if I get it while it's available, if I'm like the first, and if I'm always checking in, I should always get that with Ticketmaster. And when you screw me over, I have a right to talk about it. So it's very, very unfortunate that it happened. But I'm going to some other CMLL events. I'm going to the Frida Kahlo Museum. I'm doing some other things in Mexico. I'm going to Ling Ling's a good, like, a really, really good, like, you know, food restaurant. I'm going to have some good Mexican food. I'm going to make the most out of the trip, really. But it's unfortunate that the reason why I'm going down is AEW, and I got fucked out of good ticket seats. But I'll make the most of it. And if it's a situation where they kick me out because they may be like, hey, because like I've explained to you earlier, they gave me tickets, but they did not say you sit in this section, you sit in that section. So I imagine it being a huge madhouse. And if it's a crazy madhouse, whatever thing, then I'll just like walk out and be like, hey, you know, I got fucked out of this trip, really, you know. So it's unfortunate, but, you know, when you are a devout fan of professional wrestling, they kind of expect you to be like a John. You keep paying for experiences, and sometimes you enjoy it, or sometimes, you know, you get screwed twice, out of your money and out of a good thing that you want to pay for, you know. So it's unfortunate that it happened, but I'm happy to share with all you guys because I got taken advantage of. It was underhanded, and I'm not going to, you know, keep my mouth shut about it.